ladies and gentlemen, we are unaffected by the Writers Guild of America strike, so Two Noobs Talking is here for you
Heck yeah.
on episode 136. With me over
Woo.
here is the jalapeno John Tracy. Over here is
Very
Marshmallow
convenient.
Matt Craig.
There you go.
I am Saturated Steve Murray. Gentlemen, John, welcome back. We're so glad to have you back. Even though we're back to our normal format. How are things?
Yeah, things are great. Good job last week, by the way. I want to say that,
Appreciate that.
in front of everybody. I enjoyed the
tried.
episode. Thank you for the time off. It was, much needed. I haven't had an episode off in a long time.
Yeah.
That's true. Thank you for patronizing us. Matt, how are you this fine, beautiful day, sir?
Oh, man, what a change in the weather. Oh, my gosh. It's been absolutely fantastically beautiful, and the rain is gone, the cold weather. I was still wearing hoodies. Like, that was crazy this week. I was just like, what the heck is going on here? But now it's gone, and the sun is out. It's beautiful, and, love it. Absolutely love it. Happy Cinco de Mayo +1. How about that?
Go.
There you go. The time of this recording. Ha, ha, ha.
Right. All right. Well, before we get started, I just want to talk about the Boston Bruins.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
The Boston Bruins, who had the best regular season record in NHL history.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
Can we
3-1
say
series lead?
don't I love it.
They lost to the Florida Panthers in 7.
Love it. Love it.
And here's the best part. They don't have a first round pick this year. They don't have a first round pick next year. They don't have a second round pick this year. They don't have a second round pick next year. And they don't have a second round pick in 2025.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes.
Their goal difference was plus 128.
Yeah?
128 and plus in the goal difference there. Man, that certainly would suck to be them this morning, that's for sure. I loved it too. It was a bunch of schadenfreude. It's fantastic. You gotta love it.
But I digress. We move on to our over 40 segment and fun fact brought to you by Dubby Energy Drinks. Visit dubby.gg. That's dubby.gg. Pick your favorite flavor. Enter the promo code Two Noobs Talking, TOONOOBS, talking, not stalking. And you'll get 10% off your order. John, what is your fun fact? Because I did one last week, but you always do them much better.
No, that's not true. I loved your fun fact. I actually ran and told my wife as soon as I heard your fun fact. I was like, "Hey, I didn't know this. You need to know this." Which got me thinking. As I was watching your fun fact, I'd like to just type random things in Google and to see what pops up. And this day was, do snails have teeth? That was what I asked.
Interesting.
And this is what I got back. A snail.
Okay.
Teeth are arranged around its tongue. A garden snail has about 14,000 teeth, while other species have over 20,000 teeth.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, well, that's damn interesting. But then this caught my eye. But that's not even the most shocking part.
Okay.
So the aquatic snail, which is called a limpet, has the strongest known biological material on Earth.
Really?
It's even stronger than titanium. That's aquatic snail's teeth are like it. Apparently.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I didn't know
wild.
any of that. So there's my fun fact.
This scarily puts me in mind of when we had the ant close-up of its face.
Yes.
I think we want to avoid at all costs a close-up of a snail's face.
Can't even imagine 20,000 teeth. That's crazy.
Or if a snail is grown to the size of some dinosaurs, then we'd be screwed.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, you'd run for the hills.
They would take over the world.
Absolutely. But I think we ought to start making hockey sticks out of this Limp Bizkit's
Yes.
material. That way they don't break.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely.
All right, Matt, to your over 40 rant. What's up your craw this week?
Yeah, well, this one's pretty straightforward, and we were talking about this in pre-production, guys. Changing tires and the lug nuts. What the hell? To be perfectly honest, guys, I recently had a flat tire. This is a couple months ago. I actually was driving into the office to print mail invoices. Sounds like fun. But as I'm going in, I go over a pothole, unfortunately, and bam, the tire starts to go down, and it's like, oh, great. Okay, so I got to pull off the side of the road. And luckily, I made it into a parking lot with the tires and everything. So I get there, and I am trying. And I mean, like, with the force of, all I could muster to try and remove one of the 5 lug nuts that I have to get off my car. It was not happening. It just did not work. And so I'm sitting there kind of going like, what the heck am I having to? So I had to call, a tow truck, and that took like another 2-3 hours.
You mean you don't regularly carry around one of those, things?
No.
And the air compressor that goes with it.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes me wonder, like, why? I mean, I understand, like, the, I have a wheel lock lug nut, and I think that wasn't going to come off either. Unless I had that, that particular part that went along with it. But I mean, for crying out loud, why do they have to make it so damn tight? That's my question. I don't quite understand that at all. It's crazy.
Well, I have the tried and true technique where you put the wrench on the nut parallel, and then you proceed to jump on it with all of your body weight. That tends to help to get it a little loose. Repeatedly.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
Yeah, I think I did try that for like maybe about 5 minutes, and sweat pouring down the face. I was like, this ain't working. It's like it used to just come. It didn't used to come off. You'd have to like give it a little like that, just a little bit of a tug, and it would come off. But these NASCAR, wannabes that are in these like Jiffy Lube and tires. I mean, really? Like what? Why? Why do you have to do it like this? No. Let's make it easier for the common man to change a tire. Why do we have to go to AAA in order to get the tire? Give me a break.
It sounds like a conspiracy to make AAA money. It's
there you go.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's
I would agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get into tires a little later. So that's some foreshadowing there. You guys are getting really good at that.
Foreshadowing.
But speaking of things that don't make sense, we're going to head into topic 1.
Oh yeah,
truth.
There's a couple of weird things coming out of this Business Insider article titled "AOC and Matt Gaetz introduce a bipartisan bill." What?
Say what?
These two? What?
There's no way they talked.
The bill to ban Congress members from trading individual stocks.
Wow.
So in a rare show of bipartisanship in Washington, D.C. last Tuesday, Democrat AOC and Republican Matt Gaetz introduced a bill that would ban congressional lawmakers from trading stocks. The Bipartisan Restoring Faith in Government Act, or the BRFRGA, would prohibit Congress members and their spouses and any dependents from trading individual stocks. Lawmakers trading stocks has come under intensifying scrutiny in recent years, as some Congress members have made timely trades in certain stocks that they may have had direct influence over or access to sensitive information as a result of the various committees they serve on. John's girlfriend, Democrat Representative Nancy Pelosi, and her husband, Paul Pelosi. Does Paul know about you two? I don't know. Have long been scrutinized for the extensive stock trading done by Paul. Some other trades have raised eyebrows in recent years, including former Senator Richard Burr selling as much as $1.7 million in stock on February 13th, 2020, after he was briefed on the threat of the COVID-19 virus. More
Oh,
recently, some
shocking.
members sold bank stocks during the initial collapse of Silicon Valley Bank in March. Matt, putting aside who proposed this, which, its own issue,
Go on. Yeah.
does this sound like a good idea to you?
Yes, it should have been done probably 50 years ago, maybe. It's finally now come along for the Congress to, wait a minute. We really shouldn't be doing this in front of the American people. You think? My skepticism, though, still remains intact because it came out of AOC's mouth and Matt Gaetz' pen. I'm sorry. I'm just a little skeptical of both. I want to see details of this bill as a result of this. I want to see, like, all the way straight down. From a top down all the way down to page 976,854, however long this bill
And 22.
is. And yeah, with an addendum of 22 additional addendums. I want to see this bill in full. And I want, really, honest to God, I want those folks prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. If it is written in this bill, I want it done. It's ridiculous for members of Congress to have that insight and the foreknowledge. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. It is totally unethical. And they should be let go. Like, they should immediately resign, honest to God. And I'm not just being political here. They ultimately should resign if they are caught. No question about it.
Do regular insider trading laws not apply to members of Congress? I don't understand why the need for this specific law.
The bill in 2012, I believe, gave them to trade stocks, and all they had to do was report it. It didn't put a stopgap on where they got their information. That's what this bill does. Is you just can't do it. It's not good. it's very bad. It's a very bad idea.
Yeah.
To allow these people to make more money than we pay them. They get a salary from the United States citizens, and that should be what their salary is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the bill would prevent congressional lawmakers and their spouses and dependents from trading individual stocks. If the bill passed, they would have 90 days to either divest the stocks or place the assets in a qualified blind trust in which they'd have no control over what stocks are bought or sold in the account. Instead of owning individual stocks, Congress members would be allowed to buy and sell baskets of stocks via mutual funds or ETFs, as well as Treasury securities. John, does that go far enough for you?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine because you're not controlling any. You can't control. I do it with my 401k. I have no control over my 401k. It gets traded, it gets moved around, it gets none. Other than what I contribute in and what the company contributes, it goes into a blind fund that is just, it bounces around. They go this way, they go that way. I don't know what stocks I'm trading. It's completely blind, and that's the way I want it. You don't even know the fund it's in? No, I know. The way it's done with me is it's in a blind fund. So they can do whatever they want. I give them the ability to trade it the way they want to. I don't want to know the specifics. I don't want to know that I went this way and I went that way. I just want to know, was it a good return or is it a bad return? Are you changing path? Right.
That I understand that, but you are able to pick which blind fund it goes in, right?
Well,
okay. All right.
You give what they're saying is the blind fund is basically you give a financial advisor the ability to make decisions for you. And you're not seeing what those decisions are. I'm not like, hey, I want to do this and I want to do that. I'm not doing that. I'm just, it's over there and that dude's doing the work and I'm perfectly okay with that.
I get that. Yeah. Mine, I presented a number of funds to pick from. I happened to put mine into a Target retirement year fund.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's.
But I picked that fund, and whoever's managing it.
I did too. I said I want to put X amount of dollars in, and I want it to go this long, and I'm looking for this kind of money. Yes, but towards the individual stocks, I have no clue, and that's the way I'm okay with them having that because you don't have any idea. You just log on to the website. I'm sure you log on the website, you're doing well or you're not doing so well. Either or.
Right.
Don't check it. My advice to everybody is do not check your 401k weekly or monthly. Do it every 6
No.
months. Do it every 6 months. That's my biggest
Yeah.
advice.
I say annually, but that's just me.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Matt, do you think this goes far enough with what you heard?
Yeah, I think so, Steve. Yeah, I mean, it addresses a huge ethical problem that's going on currently in Congress, but for sure. But again, like I said before, we're talking about an avowed socialist in AOC and a right-wing lunatic in Matt Gaetz. I am very skeptical, let's just say, in regards to this. I want to make sure that this bill doesn't have any little socialist nonsense in it, and I don't want to see any right-wing lunacy in it as well. And I mean, I appreciate the fact that they're working together to solve a common problem in Congress, but this should have been done years ago. The fact that it's happening now is like, well, good for you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very skeptical. I want to see this like all the way straight through, and it applies across both parties. If one is guilty, it's like that. It has to follow through. There is no, there isn't like anybody. Oh, okay. Well, we're just going to let this person, slide by. No, none of that stuff. And that's where I'm skeptical right now of the bill, particularly in regards to both of these two authors. It's like, I get it. Time will tell. I'll just put it that way.
I'm still confused why. I mean, if you work for a company and you know something's going to happen, and then you trade all your stock knowing that's going to happen, and then it happens and the stock plummets, and you made a bunch of money. Is it the FTC that comes after you?
I think so. Yeah.
Is the FTC,
it'd be the Federal Trade Commission.
Yeah, the Federal Trade Commission comes after you for insider trading. Yeah. Why are congressional leaders somehow exempted from that? I don't. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I agreed, Steve. I think and again, it's been a long problem with the Congress. Really, it's like rules for thee, but not for me. That kind of a deal, and that has to stop. That just absolutely has to stop. You cannot, just because you get elected to an office, there's a high degree of responsibility. And if this bill addresses it, great. I mean, that I'm all for that. Like I said before, I'm skeptical.
Right. John, why don't you explain for the people out there who may not understand what this is trying to fix? I know you've been bugged about this for a while.
I love your size, John. It's hilarious.
Can we just look at Nancy Pelosi's mansion, or Joe Biden's mansion, or AOC's mansion, or
Gates' mansion?
Yeah, Ted Cruz has a huge plot of land in Texas. He's not a congressman, but they make a lot of money off the American people, and they have for. Obama was big on this. The Obama administration was big on this, helping out his buddies in Congress and the Senate. Because in reality, this is something that a president would push for or veto. That 2012 that said you pretty much can do. It said pretty much you could do anything in the stock market as long as it's reported to the American people. Yeah. That's the gist of that one in 2012. That probably should have been shot down.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the conundrum we're in now. You're looking at Trump is a businessman, not a politician, for 50, 60 years, and he has houses all over the place. My question to that is not being a Trump supporter at all. He's a businessman that has made a lot of shady deals and done a lot of things. Has a lot of houses. Joe Biden's been a politician for 50 years. His houses look similar. So.
Oh, yeah. It raises a question.
It absolutely raises a question. He's been in politics forever.
Yeah.
So that's obviously that's my question with everything with having, of course they're trying to fix something. They're trying to fix something that's a huge problem, but the awareness of looking at it, like these politicians for decades have been making money off the books.
Yeah.
Was it Dick Cheney, vice president, and then he instantly after the presidency of Bush was over, he was on like 6 boards, Halliburton being one of them.
I was just going to say Halliburton.
Like he was like sitting on like 5 or 6 boards. Like the next day, you didn't call the vice president. Like you did that all did that all at 8 a.m. on a Monday, right afterward, like January 7th. That was all hammered down, and this dude was sitting on 6 to 7 boards. Like that's what I mean. Like it's BS to think that they weren't trying to pull. So any bringing light to it or any attempt, I'm okay with. I think I think they're gonna probably revisit this in a couple years because it's not gonna meet the right standards that they're trying to reach. But hey, A for effort. I mean, you're trying, and it's bipartisan, which is very rare these days.
Given that it has to be passed by the self-indulgent wieners here,
yes.
What's the likelihood of it actually passing?
That's tough.
Well, I think it's a good chance of passing, Steve, to be honest. I think it's a big hot button issue, no question, in Washington, and people are rightly pissed off about it. Do I see? It'd be interesting to see who votes no. That would be my question in regards to this, because if it's voting no, then that tells me they're either guilty or they don't like what's in the bill. It's either one of the two. Now the scapegoat is, well, I don't like what's in the bill,
right?
In that regard. So,
and they do that.
So
all
I
the time
think it has
8,000 pages.
Exactly. So I think it has a chance of passing, but again, I'm skeptical. I want to see it. Like I said before, I just don't trust the two authors.
They have the right players in the game, though. With AOC and Gaetz. They have the Freedom Caucus. They have the radical left. We know McCarthy bows to both of them, so that's going to help. And you just got to basically you're down to old farts and idiots. They just got to get the support from those, and they should run this bill should run pretty quickly through.
I would think so too. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm blanking on a good transitional phrase, so we're just going to move to topic 2.
Oh,
Don't give me that face. If you were here, I'd punch it. John, we were on our best behavior.
We were.
I know you.
Apparently, you gave an instruction not to fight, and
yes. Well, I try.
I don't remember that particular instruction.
Well, for next time, I won't give that. I will not give that instruction next time, and we'll see what happens on live.
Yes. Yes.
I will not be there next week.
We might need to cut this out because we don't want anything popping up in court for Steve if he gets a road rage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Remember what you said on the podcast, Mr. Murray?
No, Your Honor, I don't. But speaking of fighting, topic 2, hockey, and specifically, Snoop Dogg is in on a group that is looking to purchase the Ottawa Senators.
Look at that.
We don't have a specific article on this, but what piqued our interest was Snoop appeared on a show with Stephen A. Smith. See it all together. My Boston Bruin little thing was him doing the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
So he appeared on Stephen A.'s show to talk about his interest in buying the Senators and some of the other things, which I think were more interesting as part of what he's doing. And Matt's going to remember in post-production to post a clip, or not a link to the video.
There you go.
So you can watch it yourself. But in the video, Snoop says that the plan that we have is also to go and build a Snoop Youth Hockey League outside of Canada.
Yes.
So kids in urban communities can learn about hockey, can play the sport, and find ways to get into this great thing that's called hockey. Right now, the NBA and NHL are having some great playoff games, and the kids need to know that there is an option to play hockey if you look like me. Now, this is not Snoop's first rodeo when it comes to youth leagues. Apparently, he founded the Snoop Youth Football League.
Yes, he
in
did.
2005, which apparently has sent over 20,000 kids to Division I programs. And apparently, number 2 overall pick this year, C.J. Stroud, was part of the Snoop Youth Football League.
That's
so,
awesome.
John, you shared my interest. What excited you about what Snoop had to say regarding hockey?
Literally because of the football program that he got involved in. Like, that thing was awesome. I remember ESPN running a couple documentaries about that. The man is a businessman. Like,
yeah.
Like, he's not even like Jay-Z said, he's not a businessman. He's a businessman. This dude, everything he touches has thought, smart, funding. Everything he touches you just want to be on that train. And if he wants to be a part of the Ottawa Senators and he wants to promote youth hockey to an urban environment, guess what? That's going to happen. Yeah. He is so good at what he does. When he got involved in football, they all he does is smoke pot. And it's the ESPN take. He doesn't know anything about anything. Yeah, he knows about everything, and he did a better job than the NFL, the NHL street hockey, or the NFL flag football, or the baseball, the run the bases, the punt. Passing kick. That maybe get the one person out of all 7 things I just talked about. He actually look how many people he put in the Division I.
Yeah. No, it's great.
I can't wait. I'm a fan. So
yeah. I think the one thing too, John, to what you just said, I think the passion that he has for hockey too is huge. And and all the things you said, there's the business acumen. He knows what's going on. I think I even remember like when he was was thinking about buying Twitter, and he had a humorous take about it, but like he was passionate about it too. Like there was something there behind it. And he has been a huge NHL fan, huge fan
Big time.
of the league, of the Stanley Cup playoffs, of everything. And by the way, those cup playoffs are terrific, especially since Boston choked in that regard. But yeah, I mean, and the fact that he's willing to give back, that I love that too. That's so important. We all have played this game really from like our early 20s all the way up into our 40s, and now we're finding ourselves, Steve especially, what he talked about last week, he's coaching the next generation. And we all know, like my buddy Steve Rowe, he's now coaching the next generation of hockey players that are out there. And it's great. I mean, that's what it's all about, just continuing that legacy of hockey going forward. And if Snoop can do it, especially in Ottawa, where they've had a horrible owner up there. I mean, they were almost like getting ready to move. They were that bad. If he could come in there and buy them, all for it, man. Bring it. Let's do it.
Well, another great quote from this video. He said, "We're watching the great work that is done in these communities that were gang riddled, that had single parents that were sort of poverty stricken. But now through football and sports, we find a way to become more family, more organized, and to find ways to do things."
Yeah.
So I'm saying if we were to bring another sport, such as hockey, which is on TV and they can see it, now these kids can learn to play the sport. They can understand that this is another way out. You don't have to play football or basketball or baseball. Here's another option. I think that's very true. I think one of the problems with hockey has been all along the expense of it. I can speak to that personally. Having a child playing it, it is not cheap. The let's not even get into the fees to play in the leagues and the ice time, but which is another issue. When you're talking about playing basketball or soccer, for example, all you need is a ball and a place to bounce it or kick it.
Yeah.
Which can be found anywhere. Hockey is a little bit tougher because you got to find ice.
Yeah.
Which can be tough.
And tough.
But the equipment is also very expensive.
Mhm.
And as the kid grows, you know, I can buy a pair of shin pads and they'll last me 10 to 15 years
Mhm.
because I'm done growing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing's going to happen to him. I buy a pair of shin pads for my son. 2 years, he's probably going to need a new pair because he's
Yeah.
grown
Yep.
6 inches.
Yeah.
And you know, the places like Play It Again Sports, the places where you could get used equipment for cheap,
Mhm.
just aren't as prevalent as they used to be when
No.
we were younger. I mean, we would go there all the time
Yep,
to find
all
stuff.
the time. Yeah.
Funny
And it's harder
stories.
to do.
Funny story, Steve. I was in San Antonio the other day, and I
Mm.
was making a right onto a street to get onto the freeway. There was a Play It Against Sports to my left, and the shock, like the shock and awe of me seeing that sign.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the?" I haven't seen one of these in 20 years. Like it
They
was
are
crazy.
still
It was
alive.
crazy.
Yeah, they are still alive. It's great. Yeah.
Well, when my brother came up a few years ago when we played the last Alex
Mhm.
tribute game,
Mhm.
he needed some equipment to participate, and I believe he found a Play It Again in North
Nice.
Carolina.
Look
Where he was
Nice.
able to procure some equipment,
Nice.
but they're hard to find, and so the
Yes.
expense of the sport has been kind of a gatekeeper,
Yeah.
and why kids in the types of communities that Snoop is referring to. That's one of the reasons it's hard to get into because
Yeah.
Mhm.
it's hard to find the equipment. It's hard, and it's hard to get the time. But if he's going into this, you know, where he's going to be providing equipment for kids, locations for them to play, I think it's great. I mean, the Ed Snyder Hockey Foundation here in
Yeah.
Philadelphia does something very similar, and that's been a very successful program.
Mhm.
We actually played against one of their teams, and we got crushed because they were very good and
Look at
very
that.
well coached.
Very,
Yeah.
very organized.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were very, very well put together.
Yeah, there you go.
They knew what they were doing. They were a very well coached team. But if Snoop's going to do something similar, I think all for it, and I think it's great
Yeah.
not only for those kids but great for the game.
No doubt.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
You know, the hockey has struggled to gain in popularity. We're not one of those people who likes to keep people out of the fandom, which I know is something a lot of people complain about. We tend to we want more people involved because it's more fun when you have more people.
Yeah. It's just only because of the fact that the physical and mental exercises you get just from playing the sport is huge. It's massive. It's, you know, you get cardiovascular, you get mental, you know, acuity and all that kind of stuff to kind of figure out, okay, where's someone go, and anticipation is huge. And if you're able to translate that, the more, you know, and think about how that would be going on a go forward basis. If you're able to apply just the ability to think ahead, that's huge. That's huge in the sport of hockey in that regard. And then also reactive, you know, in that regard. How do you stop somebody from, you know, making moves and things along those lines? So, yeah, all for it. All for it. I love the fact that Snoop has an interest in our sport and an interest in hockey. That says a lot. You know, he has a tremendous amount of cachet in the pop culture world and also in the sport of hockey and baseball and football. I think it's just awesome. I think it's awesome he's doing this.
Now, problem I see is, and John, I believe, corrected me, the group that Snoop is part of trying to purchase the Ottawa Senators is different from another group, apparently,
Yes.
that
There were
involves
more
Ryan
than-
Reynolds trying to
Yeah.
buy the team.
And
So
he
he's got
just
some stiff competition.
Yeah.
And
Ryan Reynolds, I
just-
believe, is
just
Canadian, right?
yes, and he just cashed in his Mint Mobile. T-Mobile bought his cellular company for a billion with a B,
billion.
like
Yep.
over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he has plenty of cash sitting around.
Yeah.
I can't find out a lot about Ryan Reynolds' group. The only article I saw was Ryan Reynolds was interested. I'm sure hopefully they're together and it's just the media being stupid. I don't know. But it doesn't seem like they're connected right now, but you know the media. It'll happen, and then all of a sudden all the names will come out and you'll be like, so we were just duped the whole time. So I'm rooting for Snoop. That's all I have to say about it. The ownership group with Snoop in it, I'm for it.
Amen.
Yeah. Good luck. And if that doesn't work out, I'm sure the Arizona Coyotes will be up for sale at some point.
Yes,
So,
yes. Please get in this
Try and
game.
get there. Yes.
Hopefully
agree.
before they're folded. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, for you thinkers out there, topic number 3.
Free thinkers at that.
Free thinkers. And this is an older article, but it checks out.
There you go.
Matt brought it. One for the weird file. Hairless tires get the
Airless tires.
Airless tires get their public test drives. This is I believe October 2021.
Yes.
This first came out, but it's very interesting. So we thought we'd bring it to your attention. Hopefully it'll come to fruition soon so Matt doesn't have to change his tire anymore.
There you go.
True.
Yeah.
French manufacturer Michelin. Wait, French?
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought Michelin was in Michigan.
Nope.
I don't know. Anyway, French manufacturer Michelin is hoping these tires will be on your car, Matt's car specifically.
Absolutely.
Michelin's airless tires have been in the works for over a decade. Their unusual design, they look a bit like toy car wheels, and Matt's going to put a picture up in post-production.
Right there.
I'm signaling Matt to for you to drop the second card.
Got it.
These air tires drew some stares at an auto show, but overall passengers seemed pleased with the new technology. The Technical and Scientific Communications Director Cyril Roget said in a release, "It was an exceptional experience for us, and our greatest satisfaction came at the end of the demonstration when our passengers, who were admittedly a little wary at first, said they felt no difference compared with conventional tires."
Amazing.
Why it matters: the company considers the tires, dubbed UPTIS, which stands for Unique Puncture-Proof Tire System, an important step on the road to sustainability. As the name suggests, the airless tires don't puncture, so they should last longer, which means less tires will need to be produced, helping limit waste.
There you go.
Michelin claims millions of tires end up in landfills early because of puncture damage. There, they are joined by legions of more tires that are simply too old and worn out. Disposed tires can become fire hazards, releasing gases, heavy metals, and oil into the environment. The U.S. alone produced over 260 million scrapped tires in 2019.
Wow.
Michelin also believes the airless tires will lead to safer, worry-free driving as road conditions will be less damaging to the tires. This has the knock-on effect of lower costs for vehicle fleets like buses or rental cars as well. John? Goodyear announced this past July that the Jacksonville Transportation Authority will be piloting the company's own version of an airless tire on the JTA's fleet of autonomous vehicles. Matt, you located this article, as old as it may be. What piqued your interest here?
The design of the tire for sure, and the fact that it is going to hopefully save in the amount of landfills that these, that the previous tires would be, were encompassing, I guess you could say, in that regard. But I actually just pulled it up. The discounttire.com blog is thinking that these should roll out in 2024. So not that far off in that regard, gents. I think it's tremendous technology, and the fact that a high tire, one of the top tire manufacturers in the entire world, Michelin, is saying no difference. Customers are reporting absolutely no difference between a regular tire and this one. That's encouraging. That is incredibly encouraging news. And the fact that, if it's airless, that's the one thing that I love about it, because I mean, it's not just the punctures, but how often do we get like your tire pressure monitoring system going off, the TPMS system going off? If you have a low tire pressure, and it's like, oh great, now I got to find the nearest, gas station to get, air. And okay, now I've got a leak in the back of the, now where do I go?
It happens enough to me that I have a little mini pump.
Ditto.
That before I leave the house, if I'm low, I'm just gonna, fill it up before I go.
And the fact that these tires are now essentially taking that out of the equation, all for it. I love this technology, and I hope it takes off next year. I would love to see it in the marketplace in that regard.
So according to the article, how they're made, drivers at the auto show reported not noticing a difference between airless tires and the conventional ones. But fueling aside, the airless tires are designed quite differently, as you could see in the picture that we put up. Air is like a big part of how your car tires work. Uptis combines an aluminum wheel with a special tire, in quotes, around it, made with a plastic matrix laced with and reinforced by glass fibers. This outer tire is designed to be flexible while strong enough to support the car. The airless tires can also be adjusted to change their performance. Stiffness can be changed to impact how the car feels while braking, cornering, or accelerating, while holes punched in the tires can help reduce the likelihood of sliding dangerously in the rain. John, do you like the sound of these things?
I do. I have a couple questions though. Is the Michelin Man going to change his frumpy look to more of an aerodynamic look? I'm
Can you
hoping.
imagine? Yeah.
That's my first question.
Yeah.
My second
He's going to lose some weight.
Yes. I would hope because he's not full of air anymore. He's going to be full of glass particles, apparently. My one big question that I haven't been able to really find, and trust me, I wasn't researching really deep. I'm hoping if they're going airless, they're going to be able to have some kind of recycle program to where they can use the tires instead of putting them in a landfill. They can use them to produce these because it seems like it's very much like a retread or something you would get. You can get a retread tire. You don't have to buy a new tire all the time. I'm hoping they have some kind of plan for that. The industry, I'm not just saying Michelin. I'm hoping that the industry can convert this in a way that makes sense, because if you're just going to bring the airless tire out and put it on all the new vehicles, this is very much like the battery. This is very much like everything else. So you're just going to throw away all the tires and we just made something new. I hope that's not the case. Like I said, I didn't do a lot of research, but that's like the first thought that comes to mind. I hope they have.
It says it's a plastic matrix reinforced by glass fibers, which sounds to me like these tires themselves would be recyclable. But I don't, and maybe if I'm misunderstanding you, correct me. I don't think it sounds like they could take current tires.
That's what I'm saying.
Use that material, and I don't know about that.
I need a program or something that at least gives me hope by 2035 that not every single tire on the planet right now is in the landfill. I need some kind of like, and it doesn't have to be a great plan. Just give me, you have an idea something like what you're going to do with them.
Yeah.
I don't think, for me, I don't think I would rush out and put these on my car. I would probably wait for the end of life of my current tires before switching.
Agreed.
So I would be skeptical that everybody's going to.
You are far more sensible than most Americans. That's what I'm just.
That's up for debate.
That's very true. Illinois Smith, 2024. No, it's not. It's not really.
Valid concern. Yeah, valid concern, Steve. Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're right. End of life is a huge, and the cycle of it is huge. You've got to be able to, try and put both of those two things together, see how that would work in the marketplace. Yeah, I would agree.
But then what it is going to do is it's going to put the Wawa air stations out of business.
Yeah,
it's not going to be needed anymore.
Well, I mean, their hogies are fine, so it's not that big of a deal.
I can speak for most gas stations. They don't give a crap about their air stations.
That's why I usually end up at Wawa, because Wawa takes better care of them. Gas stations, you pull in, it's 50-50 if it works or not.
Yes. Exactly.
At least Wawa's, it's most of the time it's working.
Yeah, and it's free,
it's just usually occupied. It's free, but it's usually occupied.
It's occupied.
That's the other problem. You got to wait.
Yeah, exactly.
And now for topic 4, I've brought out some more set decoration for our Boston Bruin fans.
For our audio listeners, what you're seeing, or actually what you're not seeing, is a Florida Panthers jersey over Steve's right shoulder. Just to stick it to the Boston even more. Love it.
As of the recording, they're up 2-0 on Toronto, which is the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL. So
Real quick, do you think Florida has a chance? I mean, it's probably going to be Florida Carolina in the Eastern Final.
that's the way it looks so far. Yeah,
they got a shot maybe against.
I'm
Carolina?
not betting. I'm not betting against them. If they get rid of Toronto quickly, I'm not betting against them at all.
They certainly have Team of Destiny written all over them now.
100% on the bandwagon. This is like 94 with more talent.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of the feel I have. It's like it's the rat team, but they're not. They're just better.
But they're not.
They're just better than everybody else.
Yeah, they got some really good play, like Duclair, and they have Nick Cousins, but Matthew Tkachuk has just been phenomenal in this playoff run. Phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah. Don't forget they got Barkov as the captain. He's
and Bob and Net. I mean, we have Bob and Net.
Yeah,
crying out loud. There you go.
Well, we'll see. I think Carolina has a stiffer forecheck than Boston or Toronto. So they'd be getting a little bit of their own medicine. We'll see. Good luck to the Panthers. We're pulling for you here.
Certainly sucks to be Boston. That's for sure.
Oh, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it? We're not going to talk about the Sixers though.
No. We're the Phillies right now playing Boston.
No, well,
right. Except for that knucklehead who decided to fall into the Boston bullpen.
Yikes!
What an idiot.
Yikes!
What an idiot.
Yeah. Well,
I was so
let's
confused.
do that. Yeah.
I was so confused because I turned it on when he was already in. So I missed the Schwarber, whatever that was. It was like, why is the game delayed? And I'm like all over Twitter trying to figure out, like, why are we staring at the... Turns out somebody...
Well, when you look at that railing...
Yeah, it
takes effort to fall over that.
Yeah,
it's not an easy thing.
You gotta jump. You gotta jump. I remember the world... Yeah, it was the World Series. Me and my dad were standing right there. It was the Game 5 of the World Series, and we were standing there because Price was warming up. And I don't know if you ever heard him in a bullpen when he was that young. Oh my God, that ball made a sound that not normal people can make when they throw a ball. And me and my dad were watching it because we're like, where is he getting the energy to make that ball make that sound when it hits the glove? Right there is where that guy fell. Like you have to. You need like a boost. You need like a buddy with a hit. Right. Like you need to run, jump. Like there needs to be like 3 or 4 people involved. How do you fall over?
Apparently, he was reaching for a ball that had landed in the flower bed right there.
So he's just dead ass over, boxers out, like disrespecting everything.
Ass over tea kettle.
Yeah.
I hope he's okay, but God.
Yeah, like, dude, come on. Yeah.
Speaking of fools, our fourth topic comes from the New York Post.
There you go.
Fools. And the article is about some fools, apparently. Mm-hmm. I love my hack to stop reclining plane seats, but is it unethical? This one could be unexplainable. Oh, New York Post with your silly puns.
Good job.
A TikToker user, right there, is sparking debate after they posted an unethical life hack about what to do when someone is reclining their seat in front of you on a plane. The video has reached 2 million views. When you are on a flight and the person in front of you reclines their seat all the way and leaves you no room, turn on the air conditioner above you on full blast and point it at the top of their head. However, although this may be a tip you can fly away with, it drew mixed reactions from viewers, with commenters debating the general etiquette about whether or not you should even recline your seat in the first place. Give me a break. One person commented, "People that complain about the seats that recline are the worst kind of people." A+. The seats are so uncomfortable, everyone should collectively recline, another agreed. A+. Someone else chimed in, "Yeah, I'm not sitting upright for my 10-hour flight. LMAO, the seat reclines for a reason. A++.
Plus.
However, others pointed out that it's not acceptable to recline your seat and that they would want to try out this hack. One person said, "Never gonna recline." I just think the person behind me is No, let me do that again. Never gonna recline. I just think the person behind me is uncomfortable enough already. I can sit up a couple of inches and give them some breathing room. John, what the hell?
This Over 40 rant brought to you by John Tracy.
Really,
folks.
You're turning on the air conditioner. What? Like, I wear a hat backwards on a plate. What are you doing to me? I'm like, oh God, my Sixers hat is cold. I'm gonna run away. Like, these are idiot people that do not travel all the time. That's what this is. This is a community now of people that have been on an airplane 4 times, and they're like, "This is uncomfortable." No shit. Try doing it. Try doing it every other week for about a year or two. Or some people travel nonstop all the time. Follow those people. Watch that etiquette of a man or a woman, a businesswoman that get on. They mind their own friggin' business. They put their stuff away. They're not assholes. Follow them. They know the etiquette of flying, and do that. Don't do stupid shit like, if he reclines his seat, I'm gonna put the air.
Like, are you kidding me?
That wouldn't even work for the dude that I sat in front of fucking 4 years ago. He was like 7'5". Like, what were we gonna do? Give him a fucking butt massage? The dude is up there. Like, if he wants to recline a seat, bro, you've got room. I'm not taking up that much room. You've got room. Come on back. Like, can I buy you a drink because you're 7'5" and you're on an airplane? I feel more bad for you than I do anybody else.
No. Oh,
idiots.
Matt, do you concur? I assume you do, having flown for long periods to the Netherlands in your lifetime.
I would say so, yeah. I think it's much ado about nothing, to be perfectly honest. I think we all know, like, recline seats on an airplane only go back just a little bit. We're not talking like we're leaning all the way back. You know, we're like in a lounge chair here.
This is not an airplane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
This is an airplane.
It's more like this. You know, you're kind of just you're not. Come on, like, do we have to? Like, what are we doing? What exactly are we doing on?
Got to make a video.
I mean, I guess.
Got to be a douche on TikTok.
I'll give you an example. Right?
I'm outraged. I'm going to go film a TikTok.
My first flight to the Netherlands, and Steve brought it up, my first flight to the Netherlands, I'm in the very far back of the first section of of coach, basically. So we're talking maybe about 22 rows back, and I'm stuck in the middle. So I'm right up against that final row where you cannot lean back. I mean, you're up against it. And that was 7.5 hours flying. I had no room to move. None. Those seats sucked, and those seats should be outlawed from any plane.
Yes.
You know, in that regard, that's ridiculous. That was my first, and thankfully last flight in those rows, when I made those transcontinental flights before, but it's much ado about nothing. It's like, I mean, be courteous to your fellow passengers when you're there. Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole when you lean back all the way and you're trying to figure if you could go back further. I mean, come on, really? I mean, it's like,
break the kneecaps of this person.
But that's the thing. Like what you pointed out, these seats can't do that.
No.
I don't know what the hell plane this guy is traveling on that he's like, oh, it's uncomfortable. I could sit up a couple of inches.
I'll get my measure of revenge. Yeah. I'll blast the AC, which only like streams like what? Like nothing? I mean, it's virtually nothing.
I need that usually when I'm traveling because I get hot on the plane. I need the air conditioning. Yes. I don't get enough out of it as it is. Exactly. How the hell is it going to annoy the person in front of me?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. No, it's I could go on, but yeah, it's
I
horrible.
understand. I understand the complaints when people do stupid shit, like, you know, they take their shoes off and they plop their feet up on somebody else's armrests.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous. They should be thrown off an airplane.
Yeah.
The people who throw their overhead luggage like over row 10 when they're sitting in row 20.
Yes.
Or
That's
try to stuff it
ridiculous.
in the
Right.
compartment, and you know that it's like not legal for them to do that. Like it's really hard to get it in there, and they ended up like wasting time trying to do it.
Yeah,
Forget that.
yeah. The
I've
people,
seen
the
that
people
too.
who carry on way more than they know they're allowed to carry on. That's the
Yeah.
kind of stuff you should be complaining about. Seat reclining, come on.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine a scenario where a reclined airplane seat is causing you that much uncomfortableness.
yeah.
Like seriously.
I wouldn't. I've never
If it's
experienced
a kid in the seat going like this, you know, back and forth, okay, yeah, that would get annoying. But if it's somebody puts the seat back and just reclines and relaxes,
Yeah.
are they really that much in your space?
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
Not
What
the
a
way they're
Uber
designed. Yeah, not the way the airplanes are designed at all. They're not in your space.
Yeah.
No. And I flew to Japan. I was fortunate enough that we were able to fly business class where the seat lays down completely flat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they were spaced out to allow for that. I wasn't encroaching
Yeah.
on anybody else's seat.
Yeah.
But in coach, the reclining is not. It's like
yeah.
Yeah, it's very small.
Yeah.
this people are just tools. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, if anything, that recline really in coach, I think maybe if I had to measure it, probably be like maybe 6 inches, maybe.
I'd be surprised if it was that.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
that. Yeah, if that.
Yeah, I mean, just like I kind of spitballing, but I'm thinking like maybe 6 and under. To be honest,
Right,
with you guys.
right,
Really,
right.
6 and
And
under.
the really funny part about that is when the flight attendants are walking up and down the aisle like
Yeah.
before landing or takeoff, we're like, could you please, pull your seat up?
Could you please
I'm
put
like,
your seat up in the upright position, please?
Yes, okay, so
Yeah.
so this is safe, not safe,
This is
Yep.
not.
Safe. not safe,
That is
safe,
correct, sir.
not safe.
You know what happened, why those rules are in place? Because there was a tray table up at a reclined position and someone broke their nose and sued one airline, and all of a sudden now it happened in the 70s when you could smoke on the plane. And probably someone was smoking a doobie.
Oh God, I can't even
Reclined
imagine
back,
that. Oh,
right? And the turbulence hit and someone smashed their nose and sued for $1 million. Now there's this ridiculous dumbass rule that makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's what
Oh my
happened.
God.
Blame the 70s. That's what I'm saying.
yeah. Well, one time I got a seat, and we were right up against the bulkhead, and I thought,
Oh,
oh, this
man.
is great. Nobody's
Yeah.
in front of me.
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be awesome. I'll have a little extra leg room.
Yep.
Not thinking, oh shit, you got nowhere to under a seat to put your
Yep.
stuff. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
if
trade-off.
there's no overhead space, you get screwed.
You get screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm the one I like to travel, especially if I'm only gone for like a day or two.
Mm.
I like to just pack a duffel bag,
Yeah.
so I don't have to put anything in the overhead. I don't have to check anything. I just throw
Yep.
the duffel bag under the seat
Travel
in front of
light.
me, and I'm good. Travel light. That doesn't
Yeah.
work when you sit up against the bulkhead.
No. No. Yeah, that's the only downside to that. That's for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully this guy will get his comeuppance in this life or the next.
You never know.
And with that, we close this wonderful episode of Two Noobs Talking. John, it was great to have you back.
Yeah, bud.
Anything to say before we leave the folks for next week, or are you guys just gonna zip it?
Go Sixers.
Oh. Go Phillies till
Well,
in that regard.
yeah, for both. I guess the people of Boston needed after the Bruins.
Oh my gosh. Hey.
What?
I was just gonna say, how about those Panthers? Right?
How about
Team
those
of Destiny, I think
Panthers?
from Two Noobs, yeah. How about those Panthers?
How about
Yeah.
those Panthers? All right. Well, until
Love it.
next week, folks, that's Two Noobs Talking, signing off and saying, Boston, go screw yourself.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Two Noobs Talking. Not only can you listen to our entire catalog here on YouTube, but you can also download us on your favorite podcast listening platforms, such as Apple, Google, and Samsung podcasts, along with iHeartRadio and others. Have a great week, and we look forward to delivering another episode of Two Noobs Talking. Take care.